Am I the asshole for losing my shit and screaming at my girlfriend to get out of my house after what her stepbrother did? I'm going to give a trigger warning for talks of SA. Girlfriend was over at my place 2 days ago. We're both 20. She has a stepbrother who's 23. Before this, I'd only met him a few times and he seemed like a regular dude. She asked if it was okay for him to come over too for a couple of hours, and I said why not. He said he would get booze and pizza, and my parents were away visiting relatives for the weekend, so I figured we could shoot the shit. I have a little sister who's 15. They came over, and she stayed up in her room the entire time. We were a little bit tipsy, and my girlfriend's stepbrother asked if he could use the bathroom. I pointed him to the one down the hall. My girlfriend and I were preoccupied and didn't even realize how much time he was taking until we heard raised voices upstairs. We immediately went up to check what was going on and found my sister crying. Dude had gone up instead of using the washroom. My sister's door had been ajar, so he apparently walked into her room. All details I managed to wrangle from my crying sister, by the way. She was taken by shock and was trying to stay calm, but he wasn't leaving. He was trying to chat her up. She told him to get the fuck out, and he closed the door behind him instead, which is why she started freaking out. She tried to get past him to open the door, and he grabbed her, but she managed to open it anyway. I'd reached the landing by then, so he backed off. Obviously, I was super fucking pissed. There was a lot of screaming going on, lots of accusations. We were all drunk except for my sister. After getting the story from her, girlfriend's stepbrother was stuttering and deflecting. I'm pretty sure I threatened violence at some point. My girlfriend was trying to be the mediator. She said I had to calm down and couldn't fly off the handle based off word of mouth. But I was there. I saw my sister crying in panic. I know what she's like, and I know she wouldn't lie about something like this. Why would she? I told her stepbrother to get out of my house. My girlfriend kept saying we could sort this out and have a proper conversation, but I didn't see what conversation was there to be had. Eventually, she said, what if my sister was lying? In front of my sister's face. I asked her what on earth would make her think that, and she said she's a kid and could be making it up for attention. Like the title said, I lost my shit. I told her to get the fuck out, and afterwards she kept calling me, but I ignored everything. The dust has settled a bit. I went over everything again with my little sister. She promised me it happened the way she was telling me. She told me she was scared he was going to SA her. My girlfriend texted me this morning saying I shouldn't have raised my voice like that, and I scared her. I thought of apologizing then, but she still hadn't said a word about apologizing to my sister or addressing the issue with her stepbrother. I only replied that we had to talk, and she said there's nothing to talk about. There's no hard proof, in her words, and the stepbrother ended up doing nothing, so she told me she would deal with him and I should drop it. I don't know if I'm the asshole for the way I handled this. Maybe if cooler heads prevailed, the silent treatment wouldn't have happened and we could have discussed everything. I don't know what to do from now on either. I love that girl. I don't want us to be over, so I want some advice on where to go from here too.
Oh, fuck off. It's over. I'm done.
Fucking over, bro.
Maybe she's lying. Maybe she's lying. He said he was going to the washroom. He's upstairs in his room. I don't give a fuck. There's nothing else needed. Nothing else could be said. And the fact that you even slightly defended him, I'm done. I'm done. You're done. You're done.
Yep.
I just said, try not to be a violent person or anything like that. But that's an easy situation for me. It's pretty clear cut. You walk upstairs. He closed the door behind him.
Yeah.
She's screaming for help. It's a pretty
nothing
clear,
up to imagination at that point. It's like, okay.
Really nothing.
There's A and B and C. Like it's very clear.
Fact A, he's not in the washroom.
Yeah.
Fact B, he's in her room.
Yeah.
Fact C, she said he closed the door. Absolutely believe her. Why would
She's
I not
yelling,
believe her?
she's screaming.
I would believe everything she said. There's no interpretation here. She was staying away from them. Her room is nowhere near the washroom. There's no interpretation. Mm-hmm. There's no misinterpretation. There's no way you can misinterpret it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a clear-cut case.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's defending her stepbrother is like, okay, family, defend, whatever. But you are blatantly ignoring the facts. And now you're calling my sister a liar.
Yeah.
I don't love you anymore. We're done.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Or maybe I do love you, and maybe it hurts, but bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
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 I think even if this wasn't done to his sister, if it was just done to someone else. And she told him this story and was like, oh, my brother was accused of this and whatever. Like, that would still be enough for me to be like, wait, what? Like, you're not believing like the woman? Like, why are you just like blindly agreeing with your brother?
Exactly.
When it's like, there's evidence that, like, there's not cold hard evidence, but like
there's clear facts.
It's clear.
He said
like,
he's going to the washroom, which was downstairs.
Yeah.
And you find him upstairs in your sister's room with the door closed.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
And someone's screaming.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want this person to be my life partner.
No. I wouldn't even want this person to be in a friendship circle, anything.
Yeah.
I just imagine a social networking thing of this boop, delete in the trash can.
Yeah.
Boop, 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 delete.
All right, top comment. A 23-year-old man should not be trying to chat up a 15-year-old. Full stop.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Like, why? Why were you trying to chat her up?
Like,
even that.
Yeah.
Like, why?
No, like trying to chat up in this situation is
going into her
wrong.
room.
That's fucked up. If you were getting a drink from the kitchen and she walked in the kitchen and you try to chat with her, okay, there's nothing wrong with like, hey, what's up?
If it's like harmless.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to flirt with her, like
exactly.
Yeah.
Like you're walking out of the washroom, she's walking down the hallway, and you're just like, hey, how are you? Okay, cool. Like that's chatting someone up. You were not trying to chat her up. Mm-hmm. This is not chatting up.
You went out of your way.
Yeah.
To go into her room for what?
Exactly.
To go ask her how her day was? I don't think so.
You don't know her. You stranger danger.
Yeah. So there's an update. First off, thanks everyone who commented on my previous post. I tried to read as many comments as I could. I got some great advice. My girlfriend asked me yesterday if we could talk in person. I agreed. We met at a public park. She showed up already looking on the verge of tears. User buttered_crumpet09, your comment was goated. I basically said it word for word to her, lol. Wait, now I need to read this comment. It's a reply to a comment. The comment says, quote, hey girlfriend, this isn't about you and your feelings. Your adult drunk stepbrother went into the bedroom of my underage teenage sister, shut the door behind him, and would not leave. The best thing that I could do was make him leave. Rather than being appalled and apologetic, you had the audacity to question whether my sister was being honest in front of her, at which point I lost my temper. How could you accuse her of that while seeing how upset she was? Even if you had doubts, that wasn't even vaguely the time or place. Since this happened, the only person you've cared about is yourself. You want an apology for me being angry and shouting, but not once have you apologized or asked about my sister. Again, this isn't about you, and I don't think this is going to work out since I wanted to protect my underage sister and you want to protect your feelings and your potential predator of a stepbrother. Am I sorry I raised my voice at you? Yes, but if a situation ever warranted it, it was then. And no, you've never seen me like this because I've never been in a position where a grown man shut himself in my sister's bedroom and made her afraid she was going to be essayed. Now we're done and there's nothing left to say. Yep. That's what I would send to her. She's a ship egg, and I'd bet he's done this shit before.
That's like, yeah, perfect.
So OP in the update says, that comment was goated. I basically said it word for word to her, lol. She let me speak and was silent for a long time before she said she was sorry for the way she had reacted. She told me she had been drunk and panicked and hadn't been thinking clearly and was trying to stop it from becoming a fight. We discussed her stepbrother. She told me he has a weird streak and acts oddly sometimes. She told me he genuinely could have made a mistake and didn't mean any harm. I asked why he'd gone upstairs in the first place and why he'd shut himself in with my sister on finding out he was in the wrong room. No answer. I asked how was she so sure he had no perverted intentions. No answer. Some of you suggested that the stepbrother might have had a history or even might have done something to her. I didn't outright say it, but I was implying it. I kept saying, what if he had gone further? What if he's assaulted someone before and you don't know about it, etc.? I asked if there had been incidents like this before and how she could possibly downplay what happened. She didn't have anything to say, but again, at that point, she was too choked up to speak properly, so I don't think she could have answered even if she wanted to. Anyways, I wasn't there to listen to excuses or justifications, and I told her that. She asked me if we were over, and I said the only way we could move forward was if she apologized to my little sister and then stopped all contact with her stepbrother. I just don't see a scenario where my sister feels comfortable around him again. She told me she didn't want to lose me, but she couldn't do what I asked from her. So I told her, yes, we're done. My parents came back this morning, by the way. Like I said, they had been out of town at a relative's place. I hadn't told them about this over the phone. I just said an incident had happened and I would explain when they got back. My sister asked me to speak to them on her behalf and I told them everything. My dad gave me a lot of shit, rightfully so. He says he wants to speak to my ex's parents about this, let them know what their son did. Police here are about as useful as tits on a bull, but we discussed it and we're going to file a report. I highly doubt it will go anywhere, but at least it will be a record in the system. My sister is doing better. She was really shaken up. She asked if she could sleep in my parents' room or mine for a bit. We will probably arrange a therapy or counseling session for her and let her decide if she wants to continue. I'm going to take her bowling and then we'll get food. Just the two of us, so I can apologize on my part. I feel upset. I feel guilty, actually. I trusted my ex, and me being naive put my little sister in danger. I've always thought I was a responsible person, and this happening when I was supposed to be in charge is fucking me up. I'm pissed at myself, not gonna lie. But we move. My favorite comments to read were the ones telling me what to do to the stepbrother. I don't even want to see his face again, but in case I do, someone let me know if you have a wood chipper lying around. Thanks, everybody.
God damn. I mean, I think he handled it perfectly.
Yeah,
I can't see a better way for him to handle that situation. Tell the girlfriend it's done. Explain yourself. You're not there for excuses. File the police report so that there's something on record against his name if anything in the future happens.
Yeah.
Help your sister. Take the shit from your dad. Yeah, you should. It's not your fault, but it is your fault. Like it's not your fault, but it is your fault because you did invite them into your. It wouldn't have happened without you. There's a cause and effect, and there's a direct cause and effect here. There's like indirect cause and effect here. I would say in this situation, you invited over someone you could trust. They brought someone that maybe they may or not have known. We don't know what she knew exactly, but you brought over someone you trusted. They had a +1 and it turned into a bad situation. And that was on your watch. So at the end of the day, the buck stops with you and you absolutely have you should be feeling guilty about that. But like you said, we move on. Don't hold yourself up on it forever because it wasn't directly your fault. Take the responsibility, learn from it and move and going forward. But absolutely, like, what if it went farther? You would feel worse. Like, you do have a responsibility to take on.
Yeah. It is tough though because I don't know, like I feel like this could happen to anybody and like I don't really blame him because you're dating somebody and you don't think that their sibling or step sibling is harmful. Like
you're not gonna you don't make that assumption.
Yeah.
You don't
exactly.
just you never assume that out of somebody.
Yeah. I think he will definitely be more careful going forward though, for sure.
Let me walk you to the washroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like realistically, like there was nothing different that he could have or should have done. There's nothing
exactly.
like it's not like he dropped the ball on something. There's nothing different he should have done. Like in most cases, like this doesn't happen. It takes a real big piece of shit person to have this kind of situation, which is so rare. It's almost like for a normal person, not that it's non-existent, but for like a regular person, like it's so rare that like it's almost non-existent for a person. But the reality is it does happen.
It does happen.
It's a less than 1%, but when you have billions of people, it ends up happening more than you would think. But it's like you would never like have that on the front of your mind of like, oh, I've got to watch out. But like it kind of is like something that maybe people should be like more aware of and stuff like that. Like when you don't know somebody to like just let them go free roaming in your house. Like, I don't know, man. Like to like letting people go free roaming in your house. It's also like, there's other situations too where it's like, okay, it's not your sister, but it's like, and it's not SA, but it's like thieving or something. It's like, oh yeah, washrooms down at the end of the hall. Next thing you know, you find them in your parents' like office and stuff like that. Yeah. It's just like, maybe
no, I know.
Normalize, hey, let me walk you to the washroom.
Yeah.
Until you trust somebody. Exactly. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Damn, that's unhinged.
Just don't blame yourself too much.
Like don't not blame yourself.
Just learn from it.
Exactly. Don't be like, oh, it's not my fault. I had nothing to do with this. Like, he sounds like he has the right head on his shoulders. He's taking responsibility for it. But don't guilt yourself into blaming yourself. Take the appropriate amount of blaming yourself.
Yeah. All right. Back to you.
Back to me.